Hey, welcome to 9 Minutes Motivation at 9 a.m. I'm Deepak here, and my life is beautiful and stay on top of the world work as first. How you begin is very important to you. Whatever it may be, it can be a project, it can be a day, it can be a relationship, it can be a meeting, it can be anything. They say well begin is half done. So, how do you begin anything is very important. And I realize this with every time people get up in the morning, find such a difficulty in getting up in the morning. And I've gone through this last 20, 21 years. I have practiced it nicely, so I don't have that issue. But before that, when I was struggling to overcome my sleep and to start the day on time was so difficult for me. Sometimes it will be alarm clock will not be heard by me, or it will not ring, or I will keep it on snooze, and it will get late and starting the day with a lot of hurry burry and hush hush, and it used to be like never being in control of the day. And then I realized that what you start, how you start, when you start, the beginning of anything is very, very important. Like they said, well begin is half done. And beautiful thing about life is when you understand one message, you understand a lot of other messages which are also related to it and linked to it. And then I realized first impression is the best impression, and they say the reason is well begin is half done. So when I'm talking about impression, it's not about impressing the people, impressing the world. It also means, I think, impressing yourself. What is the first impression of yourself on the day when you start the day? Do you start on a losing note? I couldn't start the day properly, I just got up late, I overslept, and I didn't hear the alarm clock, I went on snooze, and this and that. And whatever the excuse was there, and it's always a lame excuse that you didn't get up in the morning. Problem is not. Problem is you began the day on the losing note. First impression is the best impression. And the impression that you made for yourself onto the day also is that you started on the losing note. First impression is the best impression. That's why when I start a program of mine, or you can watch all the great speakers when they speak, the first few statements and sentences of their speech will be so powerful that within the first few minutes or first 1 minute they will grab the attention of the entire audience, because first impression is the best impression. And this whole understanding can be applied almost everywhere in life. When you begin exercise, how do you begin? There has to be an intent release before you start exercise. Like when we start fixed it every morning here, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every morning we start, or in the evening we start. I create an intent, I release an intent for myself and for everybody that this 1 hour should give them health and prosperity and health and balance and fitness, everything that I want them to have from this 1 hour. And that's how we begin. First impression is the best impression. When you hit a relationship, when you start a relationship, when you find somebody new, how do you begin that relationship? When you go to meet somebody as a salesperson or a businessman or an entrepreneur, when you make a call to somebody, when you start the whole conversation, how do you start? First impression is the best impression. Most of us don't even have the basic courtesies when we meet people. First impression is the best impression. Very important. Well begin is half done, then all's well that ends well. That's what they say. All's well that ends well. So finally, whatever happened, however it started, it ended well, no? So all is well. So then this next learning also I have joined and made a very beautiful mental philosophy for my life for last all these years. If well begin is half done, then all is well that ends well. The first impression is the best impression, and the last impression is the lasting impression. How do you end your day? How do you end your meeting? How do you end your project? And most people fail there. A lot of people in the excitement of a new relationship, excitement of the new project, excitement of a new beginning are actually charged up. They give everything they have. But and in the journey of the process, or in the journey of the completion, the journey of the project, in the journey of the relationship, somehow Toward the end, they just lose all the gas and they end very abruptly, and that is the biggest mistake we do. And this attitude has to be practiced on a daily basis if you want to have a very complete life. Then it has to be every experience. Because life is filled only with experiences. Life is nothing but series of experiences that we have. Good experience, bad experience, but life is all sum total of experiences. So if you can start practicing for this moment, that everything that you start, every event that you start, every project that you start, every relationship that will begin, every work that you start with a bang and also end on a peak. Last impression is the lasting impression. Like MS Dhoni, when he retires from cricket, when he says in IPL 2023, this might be my last, and he ends on the bang. I think it's a lasting impression that will remain in the hearts and mind of the people for a God knows how many long years. You begin with the bang, you end with the bang. It's a complete experience, a complete life. And for that to happen, then I think we all have to make sure every time we start something, first impression should be the best impression. Again, look at the great speakers. They will always end their speech on a high note. Very high note, powerful note, and it creates a lingering effect. Because this lasting impression actually gives a sense of fulfillment, sense of sense of completion. And with that completion, when you get into something else, you don't have a backlog of something pending. I will be pending, and that also is pending. The relationship I have to deal with now, sure. Nothing is pending because you complete the experience, you start the experience with the bang, you complete the experience with the bang, and that's what genius are made of. And that's how genius people live, that's how extraordinary things in the world are being done, and that's how you do it. That's why my 10 minutes motivation also I planned it like that. Start with whatever, hey world, and then one typical dialogue will be there. And then you will see in all the movies, the entry of the hero will always be the first impression. When Rajinikanth comes out, first it will be his shoes and then its walk, and then one dialogue will come. And you know where this will go up, first impression. And every good movie director knows that. The beginning of the movie. And like that, the way the movie will end, it should give a lingering effect. And then that's a good movie. A movie that lingers in your mind much after the movie is over, you had a complete movie experience. An experience that lingers into your mind much after the experience was over. It can be a holiday trip. It can be a sales meeting. It can be a negotiation meeting. It could have been a speech given to your employees or to your audience. And much after the speech is over, much after the experience is over, much after the talk is over, much after the whole thing is over, it still lingers in your mind. Then you know you had a very complete, deep and fabulous experience. And that is how the whole thing should be practiced. And that's what I have always tried to practice. If my day begins with a bang, I end the day also with something fabulous to be done. Something that lingers into my mind, which will make me get up in the morning, looking forward for the life, looking forward for the next morning. And the next day morning, getting up is not a difficulty for me, because I know I had a complete day yesterday. And again today, one more day. And that's how you go. First impression is the best impression. Last impression is the lasting impression. So with that, have this belief and let's start living from this moment onward. Like, here we go with my fabulous favorite movie.